apologize for the slight delay. And appreciate everyone coming this afternoon. My name is Sherry Knight, and I'm the Chief of Police with New Albany Police Department. And everyone's ready, we'll get started. On Saturday, January 4th, officials from New Albany Fire Department released information about a house fire that occurred earlier that day at 335 Ely Street. The lives of 3 young children were taken in this fire, and a 4th child suffered life-altering and devastating injuries. Fire Department investigators reported that the fire was caused by the ignition of a combustible material by an unknown source that was near a space heater in the bedroom where the children were sleeping. In a non-related incident, Clarksville police officers arrested Cody Cashian on January 8th. As part of their investigation, information was revealed about the January 4th fire in New Albany. At that point, New Albany police detectives spoke with several witnesses who stated that Cashian fired a flare at the home on Ely Street. Preliminary indications are that Cashian and a resident of the home were involved in a property dispute. Upon gathering this new information regarding a flare being fired at the home, New Albany Police Department discussed the new information with fire officials. Based upon those conversations, the fire department indicated that the firing of a flare into the home would be consistent with their initial determinations. Late yesterday afternoon, New Albany Police met with Floyd County Prosecutor Keith Henderson and supplied him with investigative reports and a probable cause affidavit against Cashian for the murder while committing arson and 1 count of arson resulting in serious bodily injury. This investigation was a collaborative effort between the Clarksville Police Department, Jeffersonville Fire Department, State of Indiana Fire Marshal's Office, New Albany Police, and the New Albany Fire Department. We would also like to acknowledge the tremendous amount of assistance we received from Clarksville Police, especially Detective Nate Walls. All of the agencies involved continue to examine the facts and the evidence and substantiate reports and statements and collect evidence as part of this investigation. Fire Chief Juliot and I are very proud of the efforts put forth by the men and women of our respective departments. I'd also like to note that upon conclusion of today's discussion, any further questions regarding this case should be directed to the Floyd County Prosecutor. Mr. Henderson.
Thank you, Chief. Today at 1:30 p.m., my office presented oral probable cause testimony in the Floyd Superior Court. The court is in the process of issuing a warrant against Cody A. Cashian of 418 West 7th Street here in New Albany for 3 counts of felony murder and 1 count of arson resulting in serious bodily injury. The count of felony murder versus murder is that in the course of a felony, in this case the state's alleging that Cody Cashian knowingly caused an arson at that address that took the lives of 3 individuals as well as the serious injury of a 4th. With felony murder, during the course of the felony, if a death occurs, it's under our law, it's felony murder. The course of the investigation is such that it's far from over, and that is the reason I've asked that the probable cause affidavit be sealed for the immediate future, given the investigators time to complete their work. Whether or not there's that this will be the final charge will remain to be seen, and after they conclude that, then we'll take the appropriate steps, if any, and report those. Currently, when the warrant's issued, it will be served on Mr. Cashian at the Clark County Detention Facility. There's also a warrant, in my office has been asked about a current warrant. That warrant's unrelated, that's outstanding against this particular individual through our Superior 2 for I believe a D felony, theft, as well as a probation violation, but unrelated to this particular case. We'll entertain questions. I do want to say before you ask the questions, we're going to be very limited on what we say as far as the details. This is an extremely serious matter, very tragic case. It's the intent of my office with the New Albany City Police, the other investigators, as well as the New Albany Fire Department, that we hold this individual and potentially other individuals accountable for their actions.
The man you've charged is also in Clark County. I understand he's charged with the attempted murder of a police officer. Is that being treated as a more serious charge since it involves a law enforcement officer, and how will that be handled as far as trials and charges?
Well, as far as the seriousness, they're both serious, and I would defer to the Clark County prosecutor as well as the officers who were involved in that case. As far as our case here and what would take precedent, those cases can go on simultaneously. The warrant will be served at the appropriate time, and I would presume then he would be transported to and from.
Is there any indication he knew children or anyone? Is there any indication that the house was occupied or children?
We have no indication that he believed the house was occupied or that there were children inside. If that was our belief, then this particular charge would have been filed as more in line with a murder charge instead of a felony murder charge.
Do you believe Cashin went to the home alone?
No.
Did he admit to firing the flare gun? I mean, how did that come about?
No. That's information the officers have developed through interviews of witnesses and the ongoing interviews that they're conducting as we speak.
Did you say Cashin had a conflict with someone in the home?
We believe that motive was that an occupant of the home, that he had a conflict, as the chief stated, a property dispute, and to the best of our knowledge, that was the motive. As we look at this case today, we believe it's in retaliation to that particular individual who was not there at the time, but a motive of retaliation. A property dispute, I don't want to comment specifically on what that is, but there was a property dispute as to what we know right now, and that this was going to be a retaliatory act for a property dispute or a theft.
Was the retaliatory act intended to cause a fatal fire? Did he just burn the wrong people, or did he not intend to kill anyone?
We believe that, we allege and believe that he intentionally fired the flare into the home.
Not knowing what kind of damage he planned to cause? Or...
Well, under our law, you know, a person knowingly or intentionally, you've heard that many times when you've been in court. Our charging document that we've alleged said that he knowingly. When a person acts under a knowing standard, the expectation is that there's a high probability you should know or should have known. And so it's charged as knowingly committing felony murder by arson.
Can you tell us who that person was that he had this property dispute with?
No, not at this time. Again, the matter's still under investigation. I don't want us to hinder the efforts of our office and the investigators. We want to finish this case, have it fully prepared so that we can move forward with it.
Did he walk over there? Did he drive over there with the flare gun? Was he with other people in the car walking?
The flare, we believe, was shot from a car.
Can you talk about what changed over the period from where the city sent out a release saying this was caused likely by a space heater to the time when you guys discovered, wait, there's something suspicious here, something nefarious?
Well, you know, the information and what the fire department did was very consistent with what was at the scene. The fire department's investigation was still pending. Their reports were just now making it to our office, which is standard procedure when there are deaths, whether it's accidental or not. In this case, the fire department could only determine that the fire was caused in front of the space heater, and as they continued to investigate that, which still takes time, you know, the space heater is still being examined, may take weeks. But their conclusion simply was it started in front of the space heater, which is consistent with what we believe happened. the source is going to be different based on our allegation here. So it's just further information to their investigation that led them, as well as other investigators in my office, to look further and to look elsewhere and to believe that this was an intentional act and not simply an accidental
Was this
fire.
investigated as a crime from the start?
Well, all matters, when there's deaths, even if it appears to be accidental on the front, are investigated to rule out, if you will, foul play, and sometimes that takes time, and in this particular case, it was a matter of days before this further information was received. There's still matters that the fire department are going to continue to look into, such as the space heater, and as they started to look at it, they're going to continue to look at that, and send that to a lab. Those matters take time, but the investigations are continuing. Their investigation's very consistent with what I would expect at this point in time.
With your charges that you have, do you know when his first court appearance would be in Floyd County?
I do not know because that'll depend on when the warrant is served by the investigators in the Clark County Jail. Generally, after the warrant's served, he's going to be have an initial hearing, usually within 48 hours of the service of that warrant.
How many people were in the car?
What?
How many people were in the car?
I don't want to comment on the occupants of the car yet. That's still under investigation.
Is there any indication police have responded or have been called about this alleged dispute?
I'm sorry, you have to
The
repeat.
alleged dispute, you said that this was allegedly retaliation for. Is there any indication police have been called about this matter beforehand or responded to anything in this household regarding a dispute of that nature?
I'm not aware that the police were involved directly with that dispute. There has been contact with police before, but not necessarily with that dispute that I'm aware of.
Recently, or can you give a timeline as far as?
No, I can't give a timeline. I will just say recently.
Did you find residue from a flare gun? Did you find a flare gun on him? Did he admit to it? How do you link it back to a flare gun?
Based on statements of witnesses at this point, the matter of finding and examining is still under investigation.
Do you believe just one flare was shot into the home?
That's our belief at this point.
So you have no flare gun in your possession?
I don't want to comment on the evidence. The matter's still being investigated.
Any indications of what causes witnesses to open up about this? Do they realize the damage they had done and want to come forward? Or is it just because he was in custody and they figure he's already caught, might as well tell what else he did?
I will leave it that the officers found them and they didn't find the officers.
Can you talk about you said there are potential for additional suspects here. Are you anticipating additional arrests?
There's an ongoing investigation, and that's a possibility.
Do you believe juveniles are involved? The other suspects?
There's one juvenile involved, yes.
Is it fair to say that this investigation unfolded after the incident in Clarksville last week?
They're unrelated. They're unrelated matters, but you can see from our charging document that, and when the fire occurred, that occurred prior to the incident in Clarksville.
But the investigation into Cody Cashin involved in this fire unfolded after
Yes,
he was arrested?
it unfolded. Yes, it unfolded afterwards. That's correct.
As a result of
Not as a result. Those are two separate incidences. The investigation that the New Albany City Police and the New Albany Fire Department are involved in with this current information happened after the incident in Clarksville.
I guess we're getting at is had Cody Cashin not crashed into that police cruiser, got caught for that drunk driving, would this investigation have gone this far?
I don't know.
So it was not already being looked at as a possibility being arson, or was arson looked at as a possibility being arson?
The new information occurred after the crash in Clarksville.
Is the juvenile in question the suspect that they're looking into the same juvenile that was in the car with him when he crashed into the police car?
I'm not going to comment on the particular suspects at this time.
Was the erratic driving, I know you said it's a separate incident, but the erratic driving was what initiated that chase, or that
I'll have to refer you to the Clark County prosecutor and the investigators there.
Do you believe these teens were under the influence at the time?
I have no information of that at this time. Thank you.